La Jota from Montreal's Ensemble Caprice. Perhaps one of the pieces you'll hear performed tonight at Winnipeg's International Recital and Chamber Music Concert Series, Virtuosi. The Juno Award-winning quintet tours the world, performing on period instruments. For tonight's concert, Ensemble Caprice will be performing selections from their acclaimed 2010 Salsa Baroque CD. And I'm very pleased to say that founding member Matthias Maute is in the studio to tell us more. Good morning and welcome to Winnipeg.
Well, pleased to be here. Thanks.
Oh, well, so glad to have you here. Could you tell us a little bit more about how the idea for this recording, the blending of 16th and 17th centuries, came about?
We were looking for a new, exciting program, and it's one of the challenges as a musician to always find a new field to explore. And it was new to all of us, and to find actually music that traveled from one continent to the other, which in some ways reflects also the story of some of the members of Caprice, because we changed our life situation and went from one continent to the other. So this music, by definition, seemed to be close to our heart anyway. Delving into the music and the repertoire, we just found this incredible treasure of music that features different influences, both European, mostly Spanish, but also French and Italian influences. Then, of course, South American influence by the First Nations, the Indios, and they had their own music and rhythms and melodies, plus the Afro influence from Africa, because unfortunately, well, we have to say, slaves were forced to come, they were forced to work as slaves in South America, were brought over from Africa. So you have, on a cultural level, ultimately a blend of three different influences that is a mix that we don't associate usually with Baroque music. So if you listen to like Handel and Bach, you will be surprised about what you will hear tonight in our program, Salsa Baroque, because it just ain't be what you thought Baroque music was.
Well, it's very exciting. If La Jota is any indication, that's very much the case. You mentioned the members of the ensemble kind of picking up and moving around. You yourself were born in Germany, correct? And the ensemble formed in Germany.
That's correct. And I moved in 1999 to Montreal. Very happy to be a Canadian citizen. It's fantastic to be here. By the way, first time that we perform in Winnipeg, and I'm overjoyed to realize that it's actually a warm winter, so we don't have to suffer from what seems to be a normal, very cold situation here.
I think all of us Winnipeggers are very excited at this abnormal winter that we've been having. So, Salsa Baroque, it's a very playful title. How do you feel it resonates with listeners? How are audiences receiving this work?
The thing is that this program is organized in a slightly unconventional way, and I think that's part of why a Prairie Debut, that concert organization that promotes classical and world music here in the prairies, that we are very happy to join for this tour, has selected this program because it's sort of a different kind of program. It comes with a narrative, and we all, being in the concert hall, we're all sort of sitting in the same boat, and that boat is literally leaving the Spanish shore and will end up on the other side of the ocean. And on the trip, of course, all kinds of thoughts come to your mind, all kinds of things happen. And so the narrative will put those events into the light of the day, or the evening for that matter.
Well, we can only encourage people so many times to go and see it. I'm sure it'll be absolutely wonderful and captivating. You mentioned Montreal, and you're settling in Montreal in 1999. The Ensemble Caprice has its own concert series in Montreal, correct?
We do have. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary with a big symphonic concert with Beethoven Symphony and a group of contemporary dance on the stage. So that was quite an event. You
were telling me about it as we were playing the intro track there, and it sounded like what a masterful event it was. Something very innovative and new, with the dancers being incorporated to the Beethoven.
It's actually fascinating to see that you have an orchestra of almost 40 musicians on stage, and to see how excited they are to be involved in something new. And Caprice has one mission, which is to dig up the unexpected stuff so we can actually surprise ourselves and create situations that are unusual to everybody.
Well, it sounds like you did just that. So, celebrating this 25th anniversary, is there anything else coming up? There's a tour going on currently. Is there anything else coming up in Montreal? Or?
Well, like next week we'll play at the Metropolitan Museum. We go straight from Saskatchewan to New York. Yes, this year, because it's our 25th anniversary, so we have a big cantata concert coming up in February. We'll do the B minor mass in April. We'll be at different festivals in the States this summer, but also have a tour in Germany coming up. So it's quite will be very very busy. It also includes a new CD, Chacon Voices of Eternity, that will be recorded this spring. And we are in the preparation of a new project for future touring, which is to blend a smaller formation, not the symphonic band, but the 5 musicians plus 4 dancers with contemporary dance to get that on tour going.
What an exciting year. A busy year, but one to mark, most certainly on the calendar. So one last question as well, in terms of bringing up new music and bringing up new performers. Do you also have a young professionals program as associated with the concert series?
In our concerts, what we do, we have our fundraising campaign includes actually a program for younger musicians, and it's an emerging artist award that has been awarded 2015 for the first time, and so we are very active in also hiring young musicians for our own programs. It's something that is clear and very close to our heart, and we also have in our own program, we finance videos for young musicians that then can actually get what they need for their own promotion. So the tools, and that's something we just try to create a dialogue between the generations within the world of professional musicians in Montreal.
That's a very encouraging thing to hear as a young musician myself, so I'm sure it's very much appreciated. Matthias Maute is one of the founding members of Ensemble Caprice. They perform tonight at 8 p.m. at the University of Winnipeg's Eckhart Grammaté Hall. For tickets, call the Virtuosi box office at 204-786-9000. Tune in this afternoon on the Wide World of Classical Music with host Michael Walsh. He's devoting his whole last hour, so from 5 p.m. till 6, to the music of Ensemble Caprice, so make sure you tune in for that as well. We're going to hear another piece now from the Salsa Baroque CD. Could you tell us a little bit about it? We're going to listen to Discurso con Ecos.
It's an interesting piece because it features echoes throughout the whole piece, and only at the very end it feels like everything goes together. So in the program, it occurs at the moment when it actually features a new way to, well, it's actually not a new way, but another way to deal with conflicts than in a violent way, because you actually have to talk to each other. And it's that musical representation of a dialogue that at the end ends in a very exuberant dance that is quite astounding. So we love that piece because in the concert, of course, it also involves playing on different positions, and the echo will be somewhere else in the hall, and it all leads up to a very peaceful and, as I said, exuberant dance at the end.
Well, I'm sure we'll love it as well. Here's the Ensemble Caprice with Discurso con Ecos.